Neal, it's okay. We're doing like extra golden hours this week. We did one yesterday just because we weren't sure if there'd be a show today. There is a show today, but it feels a lot different. It's like 3 golden hours anyway. So welcome in. It should just be like usual. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing fantastic. Yeah, my day's a little off too, because we the retail casino and last night making sure all the employees got home that were local and didn't have far to drive and that were gracious enough to stay and all of that. So yeah, it's been an interesting weather event for us. But I'll tell you one thing: I am sure glad that we have sports betting online on a mobile phone, because it would be real hard to get a sports bet if we only had retail and you had to go to the casino to make bets like it was a couple of years ago.
I'm just joking about this, though, but, you guys are really good with customer service, because if somebody poses a prop bet that makes sense and there'll be people that have interest in it, you'll put it on the site. But I kind of wondered if maybe you'd put something up there about, over under 11.5 inches of snow. It's just like an over under for points. We could do it for snow, too.
Well, I'd have to get the gaming commission to let me do that if they would. But
can't bet on weather, huh?
Yeah, I don't think they'll be able to do that one right there. But yeah, you could have some fun with that. But yeah, we're kind of locked down to mainly sports stats and props and things of that nature.
So how did it go yesterday in the Orange Bowl? Did the bettors come away with a few wins in Notre Dame's victory? It was 1.5, right?
Yeah, and we were fairly balanced on that game. There was a lean towards a Notre Dame on that particular game. So, but what really came in is that a lot of people very early in the live betting started betting the under, and if you look at that first half, I mean, it wasn't as interesting as the first half, and in that second half, boy, we had great playoff football, and it was an exciting second half. We probably the players would not have done as well if we wouldn't have had that scoring flurry in the second half, because we did have a lot of prop action on the game last night. We did, we did a little over $500,000 in bets on the game last night, which is a little bit more than we typically do on an NFL Thursday night game. So. That was really good, and it's just nice having 5 straight days of football in the middle of January to bet on and to watch. And now that we're all kind of snowed in, a lot of us are, nothing else better to do, so we might as well watch some college football playoffs and get a little betting action in.
Do you find in games like last night and then like in the Texas-Arizona State playoff game, that games that are tighter, when you get into the fourth quarter and there's back and forth and you don't know who's going to win, that your in-play betting, the play-by-play betting becomes something that kind of jumps off the page at people?
Yes, it does, especially if it's very, very close. And not so much because we don't have we only had one football game last night. Now, people parlayed it with NBA and college basketball, but typically when you get to the fourth quarter, you see a lot more because, if that's the last game in a parlay, you will see sometimes people will hedge bets or they'll double down. It's just interesting to see the behavior. But about midway through the fourth quarter, if it's a very, very tight game, there is a definite difference in the live betting than if it's a game that's already been it's a blowout or 2-score game about that time.
Well, tell me what you guys have at BetSaracen's for tonight's Cotton Bowl in terms of the spread and any of the props that might jump out.
Yeah, right now the line, I've seen it waver as early this morning to Ohio State minus 5.5. It's back to Ohio State minus 6.5 right now. The over and under is 52. Now, on the spread, what is very, very interesting is I just looked at what our current liabilities are. And this is BetSaracen only. This is not nationwide. But 71% of the money is on Ohio State minus the 5.5/6.5, wherever the line has wobbled. So, and on the money line, 81% is on Ohio State, and 66% of the bets right now are on the over. What's interesting about that is when I'm looking around and seeing what all the different pick services and the pundits, a lot of people are saying take Texas in the points. So, that's what we want with playoff football, because you shouldn't have a double-digit favorite once you get to the semifinals. So we got good playoff football last night, exciting football, and tonight has the potential of being that. It's all going to be if Texas's defense can hold Ohio State, and whether Ohio State is still on that heater, because they mowed through Tennessee, they mowed through Oregon, and Texas has shown its vulnerabilities both against Georgia and that close game against Arizona State.
Television obviously is the reason why we have college playoff games Thursday and Friday, because you get the NFL playoffs Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, and that truly, if you just like Super Bowl is NFL playoffs, of course, that's the king of ratings of television, of anything, is NFL playoffs. Did you find during the first round, when there were playoff games for college football and the NFL, people don't stay away from one or the other on the same day? And I just kind of would have expected that if you, this has got to be a Valhalla for sports betting, because there's all sorts of ability to put money on regular season games and more games because there's more teams playing. But when it comes to when there's nothing quite like playoff football for the viewing public, and I just imagine it's the exact same for the betting public.
Absolutely. And boy, I'll tell you what, I'm glad we had those early playoff games that were in the month last year, because I don't know if you've seen the stories, because the NFL just tore sports books a new one this year, and I think it was a record, an amount of favorites that won in December was just absolutely phenomenal. We would have lost money in the sports book last month if we just had NFL. We lost a pretty good chunk on the NFL last month, and we just got our nose above water with college basketball and some of the favorable outcomes in the bowl games, and the betting public going against two of the favorites in the first round of the playoffs. So, last month was a banner month for the sports bettors. So they've got a lot of confidence right now, and they're firing away at us, and they've got a little bit of extra money sitting in those accounts to fire away at us, and they're taking the opportunity to do it.
What's been these first two games, SEC basketball, in terms of where the money has gone? Arkansas has not looked very good. They've lost the first couple of ball games, and I wondered if that's been reflected. It just kind of feels a little bit like the fan base, I won't say is down on the basketball program overall. It's just you're not getting the kind of results necessarily that you expected, considering the coach that was hired. Has this been reflected in the handle for basketball, or has it just been like it's been the last couple of years? We're up about 20% year over year in the amount of handle, and that is also true across the board for the Arkansas games. Now, for Arkansas, when they lost to Tennessee, that there was really no change for the Ole Miss game, it was what's to be expected. What's going to be the truth will be with what the level of betting is tomorrow when they're playing Florida, and the line's not quite out yet. I don't think it's been out. It comes out about 24 hours. I was hoping it would get out before we get on the air, but I haven't seen it just quite yet. Nope, still don't see it quite yet. But I'm guessing it's going to be around 9 points from some of my modeling. But tomorrow, I expect it to be down a little bit because you've got all the extra noise of the NFL playoffs tomorrow. So, people are probably going to spread their money around a little bit. We always see a little bit of a downturn anytime that Arkansas loses. And I think there was a lot of optimism going in once we started conference play. But, SEC in basketball is going to be something else this year. You got number one Tennessee loses to 30 points to Florida, and then Florida, they held with Kentucky in Rupp Arena, and now they're coming here to Fayetteville to play tomorrow. So let's see if we can't get them off their little run there, and maybe they have a letdown after beating the number one team at the time in Tennessee, and
and Arkansas can get their first SEC win. I surely hope they do, because I've got enough business with college basketball and the NFL playoffs to absorb an Arkansas loss. And when Arkansas is winning, it's just better for us at BetSaracen, because like we said earlier, when Arkansas is winning, the fan base is really behind them, and the betting fan base really gets behind them.
Don, look at this here. I see the first preseason props for who will be the College World Series champion. Tennessee, the favorite. A&M, second favorite. Hogs are the third favorite, plus 1,100. But fans got to do some research before they decide on that. It's just 36 days away from the season, and it's an option now, too.
Yeah, I mean, we try to get these lines out as soon as we can, and as soon as that the data feeds do that. So it's nice seeing the representation of the SEC at the top there. I mean, of the top six, the SEC have the top five. I mean, after Arkansas at plus 1,100, you got LSU at plus 12, Florida at plus 1,750. Then North Carolina is the first non-SEC team. It's funny how the ACC kind of rounds out the next three. So yep, it's way too early, and there, and of course, with Tennessee winning the national championship last year, that's always kind of a betting favorite, because people bet, like to bet on a winner. But there's not as much value in that pick as what you might find in Arkansas or some of these other teams that are a little bit lower in the run.
BetOnline continues to be the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting. From the earliest odds to in-game live betting, BetOnline provides you with all the action and the ability to watch the games as they happen. With the largest selection of odds on everything from football, the NBA, and college basketball to NHL and UFC, head to BetOnline today and don't forget to use the promo code BELIEVE for your welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, the game starts here.